Hi, I'm attorney Ben Schwartz, and today I'm going to answer a viewer question from Greg in Milford, Delaware. Greg wrote in, he said, under Delaware law, if someone breaks into your home, what is the law concerning shooting that person? The law concerning shooting that person is called justification, and if you look in Title 11 Delaware Code, you'll find a good number of provisions, a good number of laws on justification. But there's one in particular that applies to the specific situation where you're in your own home and someone breaks in and is threatening you and you end up shooting them. This is 11 Delaware Code, section 469. It says, in the prosecution of an occupant of a dwelling charged with killing or injuring an intruder who is unlawfully in said dwelling, it shall be a defense that the occupant was in the occupant's own dwelling at the time of the offense, and 1. The encounter between the occupant and intruder was sudden and unexpected, compelling the occupant to act instantly, or 2. The occupant reasonably believed that the intruder would inflict personal injury upon the occupant or others in the dwelling, or 3. The occupant demanded that the intruder disarm or surrender, and the intruder refused to do so. So if you're in your own home, if you're in your own apartment, your own house, and someone comes into the house, they're there illegally, they have to be there unlawfully for this to apply. And it's a sudden encounter. They burst in and you can see they have a gun. It's sudden and unexpected, and that compels you to act instantly. Or if you reasonably believe that that intruder is going to inflict personal injury on you or others who are there in the dwelling, or you demand that the intruder disarm, you demand that the burglar put down his gun and surrender, and he refuses to do so, then under Delaware law you're justified in using force against that intruder. I just want to point out something. I want to point out that the statute, this section 469, starts out with the words, in the prosecution of an occupant of a dwelling charged with killing or injuring an intruder. So, to put it into context, this justification law comes into effect when you, as the homeowner, have been charged with murder because you shot an intruder, or you've been charged with second-degree assault because you shot that intruder. This is your defense to the criminal prosecution against you. This is your defense to the criminal charges against you. And no lawyer can stop the state of Delaware from bringing criminal charges against you. So as you're watching this video, my suggestion is that I can't give you legal advice. I can't tell you this is what you can do in your own home and this is what you can't do in your own home. What I can tell you is that if someone breaks into your home and you shoot them, you use deadly force on them, you may find that you get arrested for murder, you may find that you get arrested for assault, you may find that you get arrested on weapons charges as well if you didn't legally have, possess, and use those weapons. This may be a defense to that, but it doesn't mean you're not going to get arrested, and it doesn't mean you're not going to get charged. And that's the important thing to know, is I can't advise you how to kill somebody. I can't advise you how to go about shooting someone. I can only tell you that if you are arrested, if something like this happens and you're arrested, then this law may come into effect to help you out. But that doesn't mean you're not getting arrested. That doesn't mean your family's not going to come up with $100,000 to post your bond. That doesn't mean that you're not going to be in prison because your family couldn't come up with the $100,000 to post your bond. It doesn't mean you're not going to have to hire an attorney and spend an outrageous sum of money defending yourself. It doesn't mean that you're going to be free. It doesn't mean that you're going to avoid losing standing and reputation in your community. It just means this is the law. So this is not legal advice. My strong suggestion is that if you are out there and you're watching this video, my strong suggestion would be to take a firearms training course, get a concealed carry permit, learn basic self-defense, and think through what you are going to do and work through what you're going to do, practice through what you're going to do in the event that someone breaks into your home and you're at home. What are you going to do? This is something you can train for. If you're thinking about this, this is something that you should be training for. This is not something that you should be dealing with in retrospect, because when I handle a criminal defense case, everything is in retrospect. Everything has already happened. And now the lawyers come along and apply the law to the facts. What I'm saying to you is, if you're thinking about this, what you ought to do is get in control of your own situation before the facts happen, and that way you can make sure that you do the right thing for yourself and your family. I'm attorney Ben Schwartz. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have questions for me, send me an email, ben.schwartz@schwartzandschwartz.com. You can go on our Facebook page, facebook.com/schwartzandschwartz. You can leave us a comment there. You can send us a message through that page as well. And if you have an idea that you would like me, you have a question, you'd like me to answer it in this format, get a hold of me, give me your question, and maybe I can answer it on the air for you. Thanks for watching.